In this example, we are asked to show the diagrams for the angles shown and mark the acute angle that OP makes with the x-axis. So first we need to remember that where the signs are positive. So in first coordinate they're all positive, sine is positive in the second, tan is positive in the third, and cosine is positive in the fourth. So first we look at angle of -80. So the way we can plot this is moving clockwise as shown here. And that tells us that the angle with the x-axis is 80 degrees because we're moving in this direction. So 80 degrees for OP angle. So we can say OP angle is 80 degrees. Now we look at part B, which is the angle of a positive 100. So that's moving in the anti-clockwise direction, but we are asked to find the angle OP makes with the x-axis. So OP angle, it will be 80 degrees, and this comes from 180 degrees take away 100 degrees, and that will give us 80 degrees, and this will be our angle. For part C, we have the angle of 200. So again, we're moving in the anti-clockwise direction, and however, we are paying attention to the angle that makes with the x-axis. So the way that comes out, we have the angle of OP will be 200 degrees take away 180 degrees, because the line until the x-axis will be 180 degrees. So that will give us 20 degrees. And this will be our answer. Now for part D, we have the angle positive 165 degrees. So that will be again anti-clockwise direction, and we are asked to find this angle that OP makes with the x-axis, which comes from so the OP angle will be in this scenario 180 degrees take away 165 degrees, which will give us 15 degrees, and this will be our answer for part D. For part E, we have the negative 145, so that starts in the clockwise direction, which is shown here. And now we need to find the angle that OP makes with the x-axis. So that comes from OP, the angle that will be 100 in this scenario taken away. So we'll have 180 degrees take away 145 degrees, and that will give us 35 degrees for the angle that OP makes with the x-axis, and this will be our answers for this question. In this example, we are asked to show the angles and mark the acute angle that OP makes with the x-axis. So again, we will need to remember that all angles will be positive in the first coordinate, sine is positive in the second, tan is positive in the third, and cosine is positive in the fourth. And now for us to plot the positive 225 degrees, we move in the anti-clockwise direction, and we can see here that it almost creates a degree. The angle of OP will come from 225 degrees take away 180 degrees, which will give us 45 degrees with the x-axis, and this will be our answer for part F. For part G, we have 280 degrees in the positive, so we move in the anti-clockwise direction, and that will end up in the fourth coordinate. So that will give us for OP, the angle will be 360 degrees take away 280 degrees, so that will give us positive 80 in terms of the angle of OP with the x-axis. For part H, we're looking at 330 degrees. So again, because it's positive, we're moving in the anti-clockwise direction, and the angle of OP, it will come from 360 degrees take away 330 degrees, so that will give us 30 degrees for the angle of OP with the x-axis as shown here. For part I, it's a negative 160, so we're moving in the clockwise direction as shown here in 160 degrees. And now to find OP angle, we have 180 degrees, take away in this scenario 160 degrees, and that will give us 20 degrees for the angle of OP with the x-axis. Now we look at part J, which is minus 280 degrees. So again, we're moving in the clockwise direction here, and we can see for us to find the OP angle, we will have 360 degrees, take away 280 degrees, so that will give us 80 degrees as the angle that OP makes with the x-axis as shown here. And this will be our answer for this question. In this example, we are asked to state that the coordinate that OP lies in when the angle that OP makes with the positive axis. So first, we need to remember that all angles will be positive in the first coordinate, sine is positive in the second, tan is positive in the third, cosine is positive in the fourth. So first we look at the angle of 400. So the way we'll plot that, we'll start in the OP starts in the positive direction. So we will complete the first cycle, and the angle that it creates with the x-axis, the way we can find this out is by we know that one cycle, so we say one cycle is 360 degrees. So we have in this scenario 400, so the angle 400 degrees take away 360, so that will give us 40 degrees, which is the angle that OP makes with a positive x-axis. For part B, again we have the angle of 115 degrees, which starts from the positive x-axis. So since we are trying to find the axis that OP makes, so that will be in this scenario OP angle, it will be 180 degrees take away 115 degrees, so that will give us 65 degrees as the angle of OP with the x-axis. Now we look at part C, which is the negative 210. So we start in the clockwise direction, and that will tell us to find the angle of OP with the x-axis. We would have in this scenario minus 210 and plus 180, so that would give us the angle in this scenario. Actually it will be so we can take it as positive. So in this scenario we would have 210 take away 180 degrees, so that would give us the angle of 30 degrees with the x-axis. Okay. Now for part D, we're looking at the angle of 255 degrees in the positive, so we're moving in the anti-clockwise direction as shown here, and we need to find the angle that OP makes with the x-axis. So the way we do that, we would have OP angle will be 270 take away 255. So in this scenario we would have the angle of 75 as shown here, and this will be in this scenario will be our angle that we need to find for this part. So it'll be 180, and in this scenario it will be 180 255 take away 180, so that would give us the 75 degrees angle for OP with the x-axis, which is this one here. Now for part E, we also, it's a -100, so we start from in the clockwise direction, and that will be, in this scenario, to find the angle of OP with the x-axis, we would have, forget the negative, so we have 180 degrees, take away 100 degrees, so that would give us the angle of 80 for OP with the x-axis, which is this angle here. And this will be our answer for these angles.